Alright, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to try to do part 2 of this video on the Brown Mountains here. We're going to start doing our foreground and our midground. And to do that, I'm going to pick up a fan brush. Same fan brush we used up in the clouds. Then I'm going to take my knife and I'm going to pull out just a little bit of the Prussian blue. And I'm going to bring it over here in this pile that we used for this color. And I'm going to grab just a little bit of the Van Dyke brown and a little bit of the sap green. And just mix all this together. And we're probably going to end up with a kind of a crazy color, but I want the green to show. Now it's going to be kind of a grayish green, or at least it should be, with that blue and brown in it. And there was a little white in it, but either way, I want it to be a dull green. I don't want it to be a real bright, vibrant green. Okay. And I'll bring that fan brush in here. We're going to do things kind of a little different than we normally do. I'm going to come in here, and I'm not going to put any trees over here right now. I'm going to start right here, and I'm going to come in probably a little above that mist. And I'm going to start with the little tappy trees, and I'm going to come down, start kind of tall, and start letting them get a little shorter as they work down. Just let them get shorter and shorter across here. But now I'm going to come back and clean the bottom up. I want them to stay straight, but I just want the tree line to look like it's getting smaller over here. And I want to stay under my mist over here. And I want to get it probably about right in here is all it needs to be. Just about that height. Just let it get shorter. And then try to straighten it all up along the bottom. And it don't have to be, straight. I'm not saying like a straight line. I'm just saying kind of even them up some across here. Now, if some of these right here you're having a hard time seeing, well, that's kind of good because you got this mountain blocking some light, so that's kind of a good thing if you can't see them all. Alright, I'm going to come over here and just let these fade on out into the distance out here, about like so. And I'll get a little of this color, come back along the bottom. I want the bottom to be kind of dark, not real dark, but I want a little color down here, so we can. What I'm fixing to do is I'm gonna come up here And I want to start me a line. And I'm going to pull my shadows out. And they're taller over here on this side. So I'm going to start pulling them out over here a little taller. And then as we come across, start getting a little shorter with them. Across here. About like so. Until we get all the way to the end. And then come back and kind of straighten that line up. About like so. Alright, then we'll knock some of that paint out of the brush. Come across this bottom first. Now if you come across this bottom first right here, stop it short. Don't pull that green on over into your water. Just come back up here and turn the brush up a little bit, and then come over here and you can do the rest of them. Just real gentle, like that. Just like that. That's all you gotta do. But stop these short. Don't, try not to pull them over into your water to get it all streaked up, because that wouldn't be very attractive. I'm going to clean my knife off real good, because I got all kinds of colors on it. I'm going to come up here and get me just a tiny bit of white on my knife. And I'm going to come right here under this and give myself a little water line across here. And remember, always keep your water line as level as you can. Just like so. And it don't need a real big water line back there to be effective. It can be it can look like it's far away, because that's kind of what we're trying to sell as an illusion here, that this little group of trees here is kind of far away. Alright, then I'm going to pick up the same fan brush and come back into the same color. And I'm going to come, I don't know, about right here this time. And I'm going to start out with some tapping trees now that's maybe just a little bit taller than these. I'm going to start out with some tall ones. Just keep them as straight as we can. Across here. Alright, just make sure that the bottom of these comes down a little past these. Because what we're going to do is we're going to come across, and then we're going to make another water line, and we're going to make this set look like it's closer to us. So up here, I'm going to start getting shorter and shorter with this line of trees here as we come across out into the water, like so. And then I'll come back over here and Kind of want to straighten our bottoms up. About like so. Now, in my mind, these trees here are, I think they kind of big enough that some of them you'll be able to tell they're evergreens, and some of them may even pick up a couple of highlight colors. The way I'm thinking in my mind. So we'll see how that pans out after we get there. Let's just make sure we got this bottom even across here. I mean, I know we can straighten it up with our 2-inch brush, and chances are we probably will. But if we can get away with working with it right now, hey, do anything that you can that'll help you along the way. Alright, I'm gonna grab my 2-inch brush again. Now on this side, this time, we're going to want these taller on this end. And we're going to want them to start getting shorter as they come across this way this time. About like so. All the way out to the end here. Pull it straight down. Straight down. Alright. Now, this time, we'll start pulling from this side again. And we'll use the little edge of the brush, this time up here first, and just start working our way in. Like so. Alright, now, it's my opinion, and I may be wrong, but I think if those trees are that close on that little island or that little peninsula right there, I really think we would be able to see a little land under it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some Van Dyke Brown. I don't know that we'd see a lot, but I think we'd see some. So I'm going to bring some Van Dyke Brown over here, and I'm going to touch across the bottom, and I'm going to come across here and just give it a tap, about like so, because if anything, you know, if we see it, I want it to look all rocky and rugged. I don't want it to be smooth and pretty. Not this far off. And we'll let our little rock point run out here. And as it comes back, it can get a little taller here. Not much, just sticking it up some. You know, usually you pull it out, and that's what I'm trying to avoid doing. I don't want this pulled out at an angle, in my opinion. Now, if you want it done in yours, by all means, go ahead. But for mine, I want it to stay kind of flat, or not. Bless me. Not so much flat, but as, you know, kind of straight. And I'm going to get a little bit more white, and I'm going to add it to the same color that we were using up here in our highlight color for the mountain. And I just want to barely let this knife, let that color touch just barely. I want to be able to see some of the dark. And just barely, I do mean barely, pull across the bottom like this. And just barely come up here and tap it. And all you're doing is, as soon as you tap it, you let the painting have what it wants, and then get away from it. Don't try to force no color up here. Just let it take what it wants. And that's all you gotta do, just like that. Then we'll grab just a little bit more of the white. Alright, when we come under this brown with this water line right here, it's gonna more than likely touch that brown. And if it does, you don't have to fight it. I mean, because it's bound to happen because it's there. So if it does, just go with it, because all it'll do is it'll just look like that. It'll just look like that water is just changing colors up here at this bank. And we want it to look, you know, kind of rocky and muddy. We don't want it to be too clean up here. But keep in mind that this is closer to us, so, you know, that's the reason we did this. It's because this is a little closer to us. And about like so. And then you can always come back up here and clean it up just by coming under it, just like so. Then we'll take a little bit and we'll come back in here and we'll make us a couple little ripples in the water here and there, just to add a little flavor. Alright, now I'm going to grab just a little bit of this color that we used as the highlight up there and mix it with the rest of that white I just brought down for the water line. And I want just a small roll. You probably can't even see that roll, it's so small. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here and I just want to very, very lightly tap on some indications of some trunks in here, just real light. I don't want many seen. In fact, the ones that's real bright, I'm gonna come back and clean my knife off. I'm gonna come back up here and try to tap them away as best I can. And what we don't tap away will end up probably getting covered up by a little bit of highlight, because I'm not going to put a ton of highlight up here. I'm just going to put some, because I really believe some of these trees will get seen back here. But I'm just going to tap around with this and just let it make as many little trunks as it can. Then we'll take that fan brush that we used to make them with, knock some of the color out of it. We'll knock all of it out, just some of it. Then we'll come right over here and get some of this yellow, cad yellow, and go to mixing them together. Because I really think that these trees would be out far enough that they'd have some sunlight hitting them in places. So to highlight them, all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come up here on just a couple of them and give them, let's just give them a little top up here, and just come down and just barely give them a little shape, just barely in here like so. Just touching on the, kind of like touching on the, almost like you were making them. But I just want to do this at random up here. I just want to put on just a little bit of color here and there on some of them. And if you don't do all of them across here, it'll make some of them look like they're in the back. And then some of them you won't be able to make out, some of them you will. But we just want a few of them to look like they're kind of in the front up here. And by doing this real light then at random, it'll make it look like a few is setting up closer. And just let your brush run out of paint. Don't go back and load. Just use what you brought up here, because you can always come back over here and get some. And as of right now, I think that's all you need to do. Just come over here and grab some of this, because when you come over here and grab some of that, it's gonna kind of thin it down some, and just work yourself around. See how it's doing that? And then don't come all the way at the top of some of them back there and it just looks like they're behind it. And that's perfectly okay. Because there's a method to my madness. I know y'all might not believe it, but there is. Always got a plan. Alright, we'll just let these kind of fade on out. Like so. Alright, now I'm going to take and knock the majority of paint out of this fan brush now. I'm going to pull as much of it out as I can. And we'll come right up here. And I'm going to just start pulling these straight up. Like so. And I just want the green streaks to show back here. Just like so. That, just barely pulling up. That's all I'm doing. Just barely pulling up and straight out the top, just like that. Now see how that green's in there? Okay. What we do now, we're going to come back over here in the green color that we made them with. Now that we got that little light color back there on the back of them, we're going to come in here and pick a little of it up. Then we're going to come in here at random. We'll probably do one over here since these are tall. We're going to come in here and put a indication of another one, and then we're going to come up here and make us a completely new one, just like so. And we're going to actually make the entire tree this time, just like so. And don't come all the way to the bank we put in. We're going to save that. then we'll come over here to the side a little ways, and we'll make us another one. Now the only reason this is working is because we put that little light color behind it. If it didn't have that color behind it, this wouldn't work, because this is the same color that was back there. And we'll make us another one right here, and we'll bring it down to almost the top of our little land right there. And we'll do another one. And see, it wouldn't hurt to have one that's a little taller. We can bring one out that's a little taller. It ain't gonna hurt nothing. We'll bring him in here like so. And he can sit down right in here with the rest of them. Then we'll bring us a small one in here. About like that. Let him kind of come in. And then once we start getting over here to where they're shorter, what we can do is take this fan brush, alright, and make you peak like you always do. You know, like you fixing to start down with one. And then come back up here this time and just push the fan brush. Just push it until you get down to the bottom. That way it's not as defined as these back here that look grown. Alright. Then you can come in here with one. Now if you don't want to push up, you know, like you can't see what you're doing, you can always bring it in here and come down with it. All you're doing is just basically making a shape of a evergreen. That's all you're doing. About like so. Because we're going to come back in here and highlight these, but they're not going to be real bright. These won't. We may put a little more on these back here. In fact, I think I want to bring this one on up a little bit, make him a little bit taller. He kind of look like his growth got stunted a little. But now see with that green back there behind it, how it looks like those same kind of trees. That's just a part of that illusion. And it just makes that island look like it's sitting out further and got a bunch of trees growing on it. And then these back here are just, you know, they're just way back off in the distance. As far as we know, there could be 10 miles between here and there. Alright. Now this time I'm going to pick up just a little bit of this same color that we just made those trees with. And I'm going to come over here to the yellow. Because I don't want this color real bright yellow. I mean, I want to be able to tell it's a highlight color. But on the same token, I don't want it bright yellow. I do think there'll be some sun out there. So we'll just come up here and just touch on a little indication of color, just to break it apart from trees that's behind it, and just enough to let you know that they are evergreens. And then once you get to the bottom, just let it fade into the dark. See how dark it is down at the bottom? Just fade down into the dark. And if you have any trouble at all with that paint coming off, get you just a tiny drop of paint thinner, and it'll thin it down enough that it'll, when you come up here and touch, it'll pull it off for you. But all you're doing is just coming up here and just real lightly touching. If you touch real hard up here right now, it's gonna mess the whole illusion up. Then you gotta get it off and start over. But if it happens, it happens. And it won't be the first time it's happened. And if you paint long enough, it won't be the last time it happens. It's just a little happy accident. We'll come up here and do the same with this one. Just give him a little color, like so. And then let it fade into the dark. Alright, then we'll come over here, right next door, and we'll do it again. And just let him do the same thing. And then on these where we started doing the little, and I told you they wouldn't be as bright, let me show you what we're going to do here. We're just going to take the corner of our brush, of the fan brush, and we just want to kind of come down and just barely come in here and just give it a little color here and there. Nothing spectacular. We're not going to make it look as much like the rest of them. We just want to just barely sprinkle a little color in here. That's all, just a little. And then right here in the water where our trees come down, we can always, well no, I'll tell you what, I don't think we'll need to, because we got that other coming down. But see how these are just little colored? I mean, not I mean, you can still make out that they're evergreens, but you've seen how we made them. We just come up here, smushed in a line. But with the highlight, we come up here and gave it the indication that it's just like the rest of them. Just like that. Alright, now the reason I kept saying don't kill the dark is because we're going to take a little of the blue. We'll get both blues, Prussian blue and yeah, and we're going to get a little of the Van Dyke brown and a little of the dark sienna, and just mix these colors together. And we're going to try for a real dark color. And if this dark color ends up having a little blue tint to it, well, that's okay. We won't even cry about it. Alright. Got them mixed up fairly well. to tell you the truth, I kind of hope we do end up with a real dark blue that almost looks black. Alright, now I'm going to take that same fan brush and I'm going to come up here and just dip both sides of it into the fan brush. And I want to come right up here under these trees and right above that line of bank we put up here. And I want to come up here and I want to push this in under these trees across here. Just get it good and dark under them. All the way down. Just and get easier as you get out here. But under all of these, just get them as dark as you can, but try to stay off your bank. And then stay at the top of your trees up there. And then clean that brush. Alright, I'm going to come over here and pick up a little of the yellow ochre and a little of the yellow by itself. And I want it just on the corner. Just on the corner of my fan blade. See how that is? I just got paint on this one side. And then I'm going to come back up here and I just want to barely come in here and just touch. Just real lightly come across here and touch in different places. Just touch and kind of bend that brush up just a hair. But it needs to be a different color than your trees, because if it's not, then it's gonna blend in and it won't look like a separation up here, and that's what we're going for. Alright, I added just a little bit of thinner so to pull off the brush better. But see, that yellow ochre gives that dark color, or a darker color than what the yellow on the trees is. So it looks darker, and that's what we want. But now it's picking up that dark color coming across here. So you got to keep that in mind too. Don't let it disappear on you. Alright, just like so. Now I know that's not real vivid and not real noticeable, but we really don't want it to be. We want a separation of color right here along the bottom like that, to where it just looks all growed up, just like that. That's all we're looking for. Okay, now I'm gonna come up here and I'm gonna grab the rest of my Prussian blue. I'm gonna grab half my alizarin crimson. I'm gonna grab Van Dyke brown, sap green, every dark color I got on my palette right now. I'm gonna grab them and I want to mix them together. And all we're going to end up with here is a dark color. Because with that sap green and alizarin crimson both going in, that's going to turn brown, and we added some browns and we added the blues, and So we're gonna have black and brown battling, and it's just gonna be just a good dark color. And that's what we need right now. Just a good dark color. And I don't really care what color you see. You know, if you see more of the crimson or more of the brown, I don't really care at this point because of what it's going to be. All right. I think since these are not going to be way off into distance kind of trees, I think I'll use a 2-inch brush, or I'll just use a 1-inch brush. How about that? All right, I'm gonna grab a 1-inch brush, and I'm just gonna tap straight down into it. Just load them bristles up. That's all I'm gonna do. Just like so. And I'm gonna come right up here, on top of this mountain up here, and I'm gonna just start with the corner of this brush. And I just want to start giving myself some tree shape up here. Just working it around. Let it come over and cover these little trees here up. Just let it work its way around up here. Come over on the shadow a little bit. Just like so. Then we'll get down to about right there. We can start coming in here and giving ourselves some shape. Across the bottom right here. Come out of the tree like so. And just start working your way down and across. Across here just like so. And we'll just keep coming on across. Just keep this brush loaded. And we'll come out of here and start up. Just come up here and giving ourselves the same old tree shape. See, we just covered up one of our little evergreens over here we made, but that's okay. We know we made him, and we know how to make one if we ever want to make another one now. But we did not kill that illusion that we created right there. So we did good. About like so, across the bottom. Make sure you got it filled in. And I think that brush right there is bad dirty. So I'm gonna grab a paper towel and I'm gonna try to knock out as much of this color as I can. And this color really did end up black. A lot blacker than I thought it would. Wow. I thought for sure it'd have a little lavender hue to it, kind of like Bob's Midnight Black, but it didn't. It turned black. Look at it. So I guess if you got some black at home and you don't have to make it, you can just do that with black. It don't matter as long as it's a dark color. it won't matter, because we're going to come over with highlights. Alright, we're going to grab our script liner now, and we're going to come in here and go right into that color and get it kind of thinned down. Well, actually we want it good thinned down. And we'll come over here and put us in a little trunk. A couple limbs here and there. You gotta have some arms. He's a big tree. He's probably gonna need a healthy trunk coming up through here. They don't have to be gigantic or nothing, but just, you know, make him look like he ain't struggling back here at least. We don't want a tired tree. We want a happy tree. We want him to look like he can hold all this foliage up without straining himself to death. Or else we're going to get a letter from the Arbor Day Foundation saying we made a tired tree. And we don't want that. We want our trees to be happy. Alright, we'll bring us another little trunk in over here on this one. And just dance him around a little arm or two. Give him a little healthier trunk. Like so. Bring in a couple other little trunks over here. That way if we get tired of the same color and decide to change colors, it'll look like a couple trees over there. Alright. I'll clean that little brush up now. And let's see what color we want to start with. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start out with my little oval brush. My little black handle brush. I'm going to come over and get a little thinner. Just a little. And I'll come over here into this yellow and green color first. And I'll load it up. Because you know good and well, with all that paint up here, you know this is going to pick up some dark color. Alright, we'll come right up here and get started. Oh wow, is that not vivid? That's pretty. That's sitting right out here in the sunshine. Like so. Now I'm not going to say don't kill all the dark. I guess I just did, didn't I? I need to have some shirts made that don't kill all the dark. That does seem to be one of my favorite little reminders, don't it? But I'm telling y'all, I think when I do that, I really think I'm reminding myself more than I'm reminding you guys. Because it's something I used to really be guilty of. I'd cover some darks up in a minute. Because it's highlighting, it gets to feeling so good when you start putting them colors on and it just starts working. You're just like, oh man, that did that. Let me come over here and do some more. But it don't work that way. Once you get rid of all that dark, you're like, what happened? We'll come in here and start making us some little bushes. Since we're using this color, we'll just Add some here and there. Skip around and give him a... Yeah, it's starting to pick that dark color up pretty good. Just come in here and keep in mind that you are making bushes. And little small trees. Alright. I'm going to get some of this yellow ochre now. We'll get a little flavor change going. Maybe pick up just a little white. Not much. Just enough to tone it down some. And I'll come right in here on this one. Give him a little highlight. Kind of cover that little trunk up. Pick up just a little thinner, just a tad. Look up here. Clean this outside edge up. Like so. And then let that ochre start taking its own color now, rather than being kind of toned down up there. Just let it be straight ochre down in here, just like so. Then I'll come over here and grab a little more white, grab a little of this Indian yellow, just a little. Alright, I'm going to try some here. I don't know how this is going to work out. I want this one to... Well, I don't know. That's different enough. Okay. Yeah, I think we can get away with that. I didn't think it was going to be a different enough color to do what I wanted to do, but it did. How about that? It's just enough. Look there. I mean, just enough. Oh yeah. That turned out well. Alright, now I'll pick up just a little bright red. Bring it over here in the same color. Just a little. It ain't gonna take much bright red to change the flavor of this. But with that white in it, I'm scared it's gonna go pink on us, and I don't really want. Alright, I'm gonna grab just a little bit of crimson to try to tone that pink down some. I don't really want it pink in here. I mean, if it, I guess it's gonna stay kind of pinkish. I mean, that's not ugly. But it's not the prettiest color I've ever seen either. Alright, then I'm going to grab just a little bit of green and bring into this color. And a little more red. Make it a little more to the red side. Let that green kind of tone it down some, just a little bit. But it'll stand out beside that. It'll stand out beside this pink one. It'll be a different color, and that's what we need. Just like that. Then we come over here into some red by itself. Put in a little firecracker, just like so. Alright, now I'm going to knock some of this color out of the brush. And I'm going to clean it real quick, because it's starting to get, before the bristles didn't even want to open up no more. They was getting clogged up. Alright, now I'm going to come over here and grab a little of this crimson and bring it up here with the ochre and make that peach color I like so much. Y'all knew that color was coming sooner or later, didn't you? I do like that color, that yellow ochre and that crimson together. To me, that's a real pretty color. Alright, got my bristles good and open. Up here and get started putting some flavor on this tree. Just touching around it. You know, maintaining the tree shape, because if you come up here and try to do this at random and you know, don't give it a tree shape, it's gonna, that's what it's gonna look like. It's gonna kind of look random on you. Alright, I'll come in here and just keep it. Alright, I'm gonna say that tree's plenty big, and I'm gonna start a new color change right now. I'm gonna come over here into the straight yellow and see if this orange is up in it. A little bit. It did. Okay. So then I'm gonna come under this one and just give it a little flavor under here. Like so. Then I'll clean my brush again. Now when I say clean the brush again, I'm not thoroughly cleaning it. I'm just taking some thinner and knocking some of that color out. That's all I'm doing. Alright. Now I'm going to come back over here in my crimson again. And we'll come up here in my Indian yellow again. And just work these two colors in the bristles. You just always want to make sure your bristles are open on this brush when you're doing these little trees with this, because this is this little brush, it'll do some good things as long as you keep the bristles open. But if you let them bristles get closed up on you and come up here and touch, it'll make some of the ugliest little straight muddy lines. And one way to prevent that is to make sure that this highlight color, when you go up here to use it, is good and thin enough that it'll do what you want it to do. You know, you don't want it so thin enough that you can't use it, but at the same token, you want it thin enough that it'll work, that it'll do what it's supposed to do. Okay. I think that is ready for a signature, ladies and gentlemen. I'm real pleased with the way this one turned out. In my opinion, it turned out real pretty. So I'm going to put my mark on it and get ready to call it done. Just like so. Alright, now let me bring you a little update as to what's going on. We up to 621 or 2 subscribers at the time I started this video. So I really want to say thank y'all very much for everybody that's subscribed and watches. I can't tell y'all how much it means to me. I am so thankful. There was something else I needed to mention. What is it? Oh, the contest entries are about over. I'm taking entries to the 15th, and then that's it. Then we'll vote on it, a week or so, and see who wins the $50. Oh, I know what it was. I am now going to be selling Bob Ross products in the United States. If anybody would like it, if you're having problems getting something, or sometimes you just don't know where to get it or whatever, contact me through Facebook Messenger, or I can't put my email address back on YouTube because I had some young lady from India went on that post where I had my email posted for people to send in paintings, and I don't know how she hacked my account, but she changed my email address to where she was getting all my emails, and she was keeping up with, I guess, my channel enough that, because it didn't take her long to do it. And I am having a world of trouble getting this straightened out. I've been in contact with Google, I've been in contact with YouTube, and we've got several people working on trying to get all that mess straightened out. I don't know, it's just crazy why people won't even do this kind of stuff nowadays. You just got to mess with somebody. But anyway, you can contact me through Facebook Messenger. It's Harold Weeks. And if you don't want to send a friend request, I still get messages because I leave my account open to the public, and it will alert me that somebody's trying to send me a message, and I usually check them at least once a day, or once every 2 days, depending on how busy I am. And I will, if I can't get what you want, I'll tell you, and if I can get it, shipping anywhere in the United States. Right now I'm not set up to ship overseas. Maybe in the future, once things get a little bigger and things pick up, I can start helping some of our friends over in the UK and over that way. But as far as the US, if you don't have a place to already get your supplies, and you want to buy them from me, that's fine. If you got a CRI in your area, they may be able to help you. But if not, I know I'm not local to some of y'all, but if you're anything like me, Your closest place to buy any kind of painting supplies is an hour and a half away, and sometimes rather than just drive and do all that mess, I'll just order it. And like I said, I'll be more than glad to help you if I can. Let me see, I don't think there was anything else. Covered the contest. Gave y'all an update on what the channel's doing. Because, I mean, y'all killing this channel. I mean, y'all doing good there. Thank y'all so much. Because if it wasn't for y'all, none of this, I mean, it just wouldn't be possible. And the Bob Ross products. I think that's about everything. If I forgot something, I'll try to catch it up next time. Alright, remember, I love you guys, and God loves you more. Hope y'all enjoyed this painting. This is I'd say it's maybe just a small baby step above beginner, but for everybody that's been painting along with me for the past 200 and something videos, you can handle this with no problem. If you had never painted a painting, you can do this if you slow the video down and watch how I touch. And I'm still working on getting a camera where I can set it up on my palette. And when I get that done, I know good and well that's going to help a lot, because you'll see how I'm loading the brush and how I'm mixing colors. And I apologize that ain't happened yet, but it's coming. It's taking me some time to get everything how I want it. But if y'all don't leave me, I won't leave y'all. I'll get it done. Alright, so y'all have a blessed night, and I will see you next time right here on Painting with Her.